Okay. So I'm Beth, and we're at the farm gym today. The fire exit is over there, which I've already shown you, and there's also a first aid kit in there, which we spoke through. Okay. Just be aware of there's lots of equipment, so they're a bit of a trip hazard, so just make sure you're watching your step. You completed your park here already. I just want to make sure nothing's changed since. No. And no injuries or anything? No. Okay, perfect. So today what we're going to do is we're going to start with a warm-up. We're going to go into a bit of a cardiovascular section. We're going to use some resistance machines, also some free weights and body weight exercises, and then we're going to cool down and do some stretches. So have you got any questions before we start? No. Okay, perfect. So to warm up, we're just going to first go into 10 can squats. So if you push your bum back, so you can feel it in your hamstrings, and then squat down with your weight in your heels. Come back up, so you can feel it in your hamstrings again, and stand up straight. Yeah, and again. Can you feel it in your hamstrings? Yeah. Great. Perfect. If you just keep doing those. Brilliant. And then if you come down onto your mat, we're just going to go into some cat-cows. So you want to lift your spine right up, push your head through, and then push your spine and look up. Can you feel that stretch through your back? Yeah. So push up, push through your hands, and push your spine down. And keep moving through that. Perfect. Just do a few more of those. Brilliant. And then we're going to go into some thoracic rotation. So if you come down into all fours again, and put your hand on your ear, elbow down, and then all the way up this way. Elbow down and elbow up to the sky. Keep doing a few of those on that side. Brilliant, looking all the way up. And if you swap sides. Okay. Perfect. So we're just going to go onto the rowing machine now to warm up for a couple of minutes. I'll just demo that for you quickly. So you're using your cardiorespiratory system here, using your upper and lower body, so it's a bit of a full body workout. You want the straps across the ball of the foot and tighten it so that you're comfortable. You want to step straight, you want to lead with your legs and bring this into your sternum. And your arms go back first, then your legs. So legs, arms, and your arms go back first, then your legs. It's going to move around me so that you can see it from another position. Okay, you happy with that? Yeah. Perfect. Great, so if you just jump on there. Brilliant, this will just raise your pelvis a little bit before we get started. Lovely, how's that feel? Yeah, good. There. Brilliant. Okay, if you want to just take yourself on that, I'm just going to do some pre-stretches. So we're just going to go into some lunges. So you can stand up straight, you can put your hands on your hips if you like, and step one leg back, knee to the floor, and stand up straight, and the opposite leg, and up. Make sure your knees to the floor and keep your core braced. Perfect, you just keep going with those. Brilliant, and just stop after that one. And then we're going to go into some shoulder rotation, so just going backwards initially. Stretch out those shoulders. And if you go the other way, come forwards. Brilliant, and then we're going to go back down to the mat for one last stretch before we get started. So if you come into a plank position, if you're comfortable to do so, and then you're going to go into a cobra, so push your hips down and look up, and then you're going to come up into a downward dog, push into your toes, push your arms back, your chest through, and then you're going to come back down into that cobra, and then back up into that downward dog. If you just move through a couple of those. Perfect. Brilliant. If you just go for two more. Brilliant. And then just come on up slowly. Brilliant. Okay, so now we are moving on to the leg press. So this is going to work your lower body predominantly, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes and your gastrointestinal. So if you want to come in, sit down, make sure you're making contact with the machine, your back, your head, and then you're going to plant your feet on the machine, make sure all of your foot is making contact. Push up when you're ready, and then you're going to pull out these levers, and then you're going to come down sort of 90 degrees. You're going to push up and make sure you're not looking your legs out. See how there's a slight bend in mine. If you want to come round to the back, so I'll have a look. Just down to 90, and then come back up, and then when you're ready to finish, just stay pull back in and come out. Are you happy with that? Yep. Brilliant. So if you go in, make sure you've got a neutral spine, your head's against the pad. Perfect. Just slowly, yeah, and making sure we're not locking those knees out. Yeah, brilliant. Great, just look at that 90-degree bend here. Making sure you're breathing out on the way up. Brilliant. How's that feeling? Yeah. Hard. Brilliant. Just go for a couple more, making sure we're not locking these knees out. Yeah, just to about there. Perfect. Back down to 90 and back up. Brilliant. And then we're going to move on to lat pull downs. Just here. So these are a compound movement. You're going to be using your latissimus dorsi and your biceps. So I'll just demo it for you first. So as you sit in, you're going to want this locked against your knees so that it's comfortable. You will have to come out to grab the bar. Grab the bar, make sure you're sitting comfortably. And you're just going to pull down, brace your core. Make sure there's no bend in your spine. You want a neutral spine. And back up, just slowly control that movement as you come up and down. Do you want to just move around me so you can have a look from behind to the other side? Perfect, you happy with that? Yeah. Great, so we'll just go for a few of those. If you need to adjust, there's a handle here. Brilliant. Just bracing your core, making sure that you're not bending your back. Yeah. That's good. How's that feeling for you?
Yeah, good.
Brilliant. Your form's looking really good there. Great. Brilliant. If you just go for a couple more. Yeah. One more. Brilliant. Okay, and then we're just moving round here. So the next thing we're going to do is the bicep curl on the cable machine. So this isolates your biceps. So really good just working on those biceps predominantly. You want to step slightly away from the machine. Your elbows want to be locked in to really isolate those biceps. And then you're just going to bring it up to your chest and then back down. All the way up and down, making sure you're really controlling the movement. Okay, do you want to move behind me? Just so you can see from all angles. Look at my feet positioning, my neutral spine. You want your whole body, your ankles, your hips, everything to be aligned. Okay, you happy with that? Yeah. Brilliant. So if you just give that a go for me, and we'll just go for 8 repetitions of this movement. Brilliant. Great, just making sure you're bracing that core, you have a neutral spine. Can you feel that in your biceps?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. How's the weight for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Great. Great. Brilliant. So we're just going to move on to some body weight exercise, some free weight exercises now. So the first thing we're going to do is a single arm row. This uses a lot of different muscles, so your trapezius, your rhomboids, your latissimus dorsi, and your posterior deltoids also. So you're going to safely pick up the dumbbell. You're going to have one knee on the bench. You want your hand here for support. And if you come to this side, yeah. So you're going to want to bring it up to just under your rib cage. So you don't want it up here. You want to make sure you're bringing the top of the dumbbell to just under your rib cage, okay? You just want to make sure your hips are neutral. So we'll go for a few on one side and then a few on the other side. Great, just bringing it up to that rib cage. Brilliant, just go for a couple more. Great, and then if you want to safely put that down, go over to the other side and do the same on that side. Brilliant, just making sure your spine is neutral throughout. Brilliant. How's that weight feeling?
Yeah, that feels good.
Just controlling the movement on the concentric and eccentric. Brilliant, just go for a couple more. Great. So we're going to now move on to lateral raises. So these use your medial deltoids. So you're going to pick up these 2 dumbbells safely, and your hips are just sort of neutral, where it feels comfortable to you, but preferably under your hips. The weight's going to be initially to your side, and you're just going to pick them up to shoulder level and back down, just making sure it's a really controlled movement. Making sure you're really bracing your core and you have a neutral spine throughout. If you just want to move around me to make sure you can see from all angles. Make sure that you're happy. Yeah, are you happy to give that one a go?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Just make sure you're careful when you're picking these up, but you're not bending your back. Brilliant. Great. So up to shoulder level. Yeah. Great, really good neutral spine. If you just go for a couple more of those. Brilliant, and just make sure you safely put those down. So the next free weight exercise we're going to move on to is kettlebell swings, Russian kettlebell swings, sorry. So these work your posterior chain, for your glutes, your hamstrings, your erector spinae. So you're going to safely pick up the kettlebell and you're going to start with it through your legs and you're going to bring it up to eye level, back down. You want to make sure you're keeping a neutral spine throughout. I'm just going to move around me. Just the kettlebell comes in front of the eyes. You're using your glutes here, making sure you're really bracing your core and keeping a neutral spine throughout. Okay, you have to give these a go.
Yeah.
Great. So just safely picking up the kettlebell. Just up to eye level. Brilliant, really good neutral spine. Great form on these. Brilliant, how are those feeling?
Yeah, good.
Great. Perfect. Okay, so if we just move over here. So we're going to move on to some body weight exercises now. So the first thing we're going to do is box jumps. These use your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings, also your core and your hip flexors. So they're really good for explosive power. So to safely do these, you want to jump onto the box into that squat position. You want to stand up tall and then step back down. And then so into that squat, your weight should be in your heels. You stand up straight and you gently step back down. You should be jumping down. Do you want to just move around me to the side to watch, just to make sure you see how my spine is neutral. My weight is in my heels. I'm standing all the way up, bracing my core and standing back down safely. Are you happy to give those a go?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So into that position, standing up and stepping back down. Perfect. Yeah, brilliant. Just keeping a neutral spine throughout. And up, stepping back down. Great, your form's brilliant on those. Just do a couple more, making sure the weight is in the heels. Yeah. And a couple more. Brilliant. Great, so we're going to move on to squats now, slightly similar format. So these are going to use your glutes, your hamstrings and your quadriceps also. So you're going to come down. Some people have different preferences when it comes to where you like your feet. You want them really just apart from under your hips, and you want to squat down, and your hands can go wherever you like. You can cross them across your body if that's comfortable, and your weight should be in your heels as we just discussed. You just want to move around so you can see what I'm doing here. So my weight is in my heels. I'm standing all the way up, keeping a neutral spine throughout. When I stand up, my hip, knee and ankles are aligned. Are you happy to give those a go?
Yeah.
Great, so if we just go for 8 of those in some good form. Brilliant. Great, yeah, just making sure the spine is neutral, we're not bending it at any point here. Keeping your chest up. Looking out, brilliant, that's perfect. Great, just go for a couple more. Brilliant. Okay, so now we're going to go into some press-ups. These are really good for your pectorals, your anterior deltoids and your triceps. So you're going to come down into that plank position. You want your hips, knees and ankles to be aligned. You want to come down quite close to the floor, about 6 to 9 centimetres away. And you want to keep your elbows in, you want to avoid them going outwards. So all the way down and back up. And exhale on the up, okay? Make sure you're bracing your core. You don't want to be bending it at any point, okay? So if we just give a couple of those a go. So make sure you're all aligned before you start. Great, so coming down, 6 to 9 centimetres away from the floor and back up. Brilliant, that's perfect. Big breath in, out on the up, sorry. Brilliant. Can we go for one more? How are those feeling? Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the cardiovascular section. So we're going to have a go on the treadmill. This is working your cardiovascular system and the lower body. Your glutes, hamstrings, quadriceps, your heart, your lungs. Again, we want to be keeping a neutral hip, ankle and knee alignment. So, just going to step onto the treadmill and just making sure, like I say, everything is aligned. We're just going to go for a little gentle jog, bracing your core, making sure you have a neutral spine. Brilliant. So you happy to give that a go? Yeah. Great. So just slowly starting with a walk, and then when you're ready, just work up to a very gentle jog. Obviously you're training for a marathon, and this is going to help with that, along with the strength training. Brilliant. So you have really good neutral spine here. Your ankle, knee and hips are aligned really well. Brilliant. Great. If you just step off slowly. So, I'm just going to move over. Now we're going to do a cool down. So we're just going to jump on the bike, which is again cardiorespiratory. You're using your lower body, your quad, your hamstrings, your gastrocnemius. So to adjust the seat, you just use this here. And when you come on, you want your leg to be slightly bent when it's the one that's towards the floor. You're just going to comfortably cycle. You can put your hands in different positions, wherever you feel comfortable. We're just going to go for a very, very gentle cycle. Do you want to just move around me so you can look at what I'm doing here? Brilliant. You have to give that a go just for a quick cool down. So if you just go for 30 seconds or so, just to give yourself enough time to cool down. How are you feeling after all of that?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Muscles working?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Just do 30 seconds on there. Really good. Great, and then just gently step off. Fantastic. Great, so we're just going to finish with some stretches. So we're going to go into a child's pose firstly. So you come down onto your knees, slightly open them up, and you want to be pushing your bum back. Your arms forward and sort of reach forward, but also you're pushing back with your bum at the same time. You should feel a nice stretch in your lower back. Brilliant. How's that feeling?
Yeah, good.
Great. If you just stay there in that pose. Great. Your spine's looking great. Really good. See if you can just deepen into that stretch a little bit. It's comfortable to do so. Great, and then you can do this next one either seated or standing. We're just going to go to a crossbody arm stretch. So I'm just going to bring one arm across, and then the other one is just going to stretch out here. Just hold that for a moment. Brilliant, just making sure your spine is neutral. And if you want to swap over to the other side. Brilliant, and then we're going to come back down onto the floor. And we're going to do a bit of a spinal twist. So if you put both legs up in front, we're going to cross one knee over. The opposite arm is going to come onto that knee. So your elbow should be touching your knee. You're going to face this way and look backwards. Is that comfortable for you? Yeah. Yeah, okay, if you just hold that for a moment. Should be stretching out all along your back. Is that comfortable? Yeah. Brilliant. If you just swap sides, if you're happy to do so. Brilliant, just hold that stretch. Brilliant, and then if you come back onto your knees, just one final stretch. Then you're going to a pigeon pose. Stretch those hip flexors out. So you bring one leg in front of you here, so your ankle should be up towards your left side. Okay, brilliant, just hold that stretch. And if you want to go onto the other side. Brilliant, and then just slowly bring yourself up. So, really good form today. You had really good neutral spine throughout all those movements, which sometimes can be tricky. How do you feel that it went?
Good, yeah, because some of the things I haven't used before, I haven't used a leg press before, so that was quite good to try. So yeah, it was good to learn some new movements.
Brilliant. I think obviously with the marathon training and everything, it's good to obviously be doing a bit of cardiovascular training, but also alongside the strength training. So we'll incorporate that into some future sessions. But yeah, great, good job.
Thank you.